7 degrees below zero. In South Bend and Goshen over towards Warsaw, feels like 30 below in Rochester. Again, these are dangerous wind chills. You definitely don't want to stay exposed any longer than you possibly have to in this outside conditions. Wind chill warnings will continue across all of Michiana through 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. So we are expecting those wind chills to be between 30 and 40 below all the way through the daytime hours tomorrow. We also still have a winter storm warning effect for Berrien County. That's because of blowing snow and just a few lake effect snow showers still left over coming in off the lake. It's fairly light right now, but it's still going to just add to that drop in visibility through parts of central and northern Berrien County. You can see it up here from Paw Paw Lake over to St. Joe, Stevensville along 31. Berrien Springs beginning to get out from one little batch here around Harrison Street and also towards Union Street. That first batch moved through. Now another batch is just about to head in, heading through Berrien Springs 504, all clear at 514 and Dowagiac at 549. So again, the snow continues to come down through parts of the area and everyone's in on that dangerous cold. We'll talk more about those numbers and when we'll finally start warming things up with Forecast Track coming up in just a few minutes. Brian.
At 4:30 in our special weather coverage, we told you how this winter storm has nearly paralyzed Michiana. Now at this hour, here are the latest road conditions for you, broken down county by county. Police in Berrien County say the driving conditions there are but they have not been drivable. High winds continue to blow the snow into massive drifts that are blocking much of the roads in the county. Cass County officials say much the same. They are still snowed in, and they tell us as soon as the plows get roads clear, the drifting closes them right up again. In Indiana, St. Joseph, Elkhart, Stark, and LaPorte counties all report extremely difficult, if not impossible, driving conditions. Kosciuszko and LaGrange counties have announced that the situation is so dire, they've started ticketing motorists who are caught off guard tonight. And now, speaking of this, ABC 57 Sarah LeBajors has the very latest on the road crew conditions.
It sounds like a cliche, but there's only so much we can do for the public.
Up against the worst winter storm in decades, crews at the Mishawaka Street Department are working around the clock to make the roads safer.
The process gets a little longer, but it will get done.
For Tim Ryan, it's a job made even more difficult by this week's extreme weather. He says crews are working to remove drifting snow from the roads, but the wind, tanking temperatures are putting a strain on some of Mishawaka's plow trucks.
We just busted one of our front plows. The cold really takes its toll on the metals.
And with a lot of winter still left, Ryan says the city's mechanics are working just as hard as those drivers to get the trucks back in rotation. Right now, crews are shifting back and forth between main streets and residential areas, but they're doing it without salt.
Our salt, even though it's treated, it only will work down to about 5 below, 6 below zero, somewhere in there.
Which means drivers can expect slick conditions for at least a couple more days until it warms up.
And that was ABC 57 Sarah LeBajors reporting for us tonight. And the hazardous conditions remain tonight on Interstates 94 as well as 65. Emergency closure has been lifted in that area. We also want to take a look tonight at the very latest map of travel advisories. This is from the Indiana Department of Transportation. As you can see there, all of the ABC 57 viewing area, all of our counties under the red, that is the highest level. That is a warning, the highest level for a local travel advisory. Well, hazardous conditions remain tonight on Interstate 94 and 65, as I mentioned, but the emergency closure has actually been lifted. I-94, both east and westbound, were open back up today between the Illinois state line and the US 421 exit. That's right over there near Michigan City. In Indiana, I-65 was closed as well in both north and southbound, that near Gary at mile marker 172 in Lafayette. But drivers are advised to use extreme caution tonight. Take it very slow, and they say travel at your own risk. And it only takes a second for it to happen. Your car slides off the freshly plowed roads, tires spin, but you get nowhere fast. Tonight, my co-anchor Kim Chappell joins me again live downtown South Bend with how to get yourself out of that slushy situation. Kim.
Yeah, we all know it all too well, right, Brian? You know, the street crews, they are out plowing the roads right now. We know what that creates, those big piles of snow on the side of the road. And as they start to melt, as cars drive through them, it heats up a little bit. It creates that slush. And if you get caught in that, it just takes one tire, you can get caught in an unexpected pit stop on your trip. Well, today we got caught on purpose to show you how to get out safely. Take a look.
It's a situation most of us try to avoid, but today we drove right into a snow pile on purpose. And seconds later, we heard that sound. You know, the one when you realize, yep.
Looks like you drove into a snowbank and got stuck.
Yeah? How often do you see that happening?
A lot in this kind of weather.
Meet Ron Short. He usually rescues big rigs. Today, he's focused on our Ford Focus.
First, I would get out and look and make sure I wasn't stuck in a hole with snow all up under my tires and stuff. If not, I'd get back in, try to rock my car back and forth by removing my lever from reverse to drive.
So we did, and didn't move an inch. Next up, clear the front tires and try again.
Just go backwards and see if you can go backwards this time.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna give this a go. Here we go.
Okay, that's not working.
That's when you pick up the phone, call your friend with the biggest muscles.
That's not working.
Ford Focus 1, Ron Short 0. Now it's time to call in the big guns. Dial a road assistance crew to get the car out of the snow and yourself out of the cold.
Stay in your car. Even if your car won't run, stay in your car.
With temps below freezing, every second of exposure matters.
Crews are overworked. You may have to get on a list and wait a while. So the sooner you can get somebody headed toward you, the better you are.
Thankfully, Ron came to the rescue. It took a chain, a truck, and 20 minutes in the freezing cold.
Yes.
We did it.
Good job.
Well, another thing to remember here tonight, if you don't have four-wheel drive, it is all about those front tires, getting all the snow cleared out from under them. Try to reverse, put it in drive again. Secondly, something we didn't have today, but Ron says he wish he had, this kitty litter. This can really help you get out of a sticky situation. Just put this underneath your front tires. And also, it never hurts, Brian, to have that one friend with the biggest muscles. Am I right? Back to you.
Yeah, and it happens so fast. As Kim knows, I called her husband last night and said, I am stuck and I may need your help. Luckily, I had a shovel and was able to get out. Well, South Bend city officials asking people to stay inside today. We are told they are working as fast as possible to clean city streets. And if you don't get off the roads, you could end up with a ticket. Police say that it takes them longer to get to you during the extreme weather. Abandoned vehicles get in the way, of course, of snow plows and can slow down how fast emergency responders get to you. That's why they say they will ticket you up to $100 during the cleanup efforts if you are out on the roads.
Impeding traffic either as a moving, roadblock or as a permanent roadblock by having your car ditched and having us have it to come in and tow it.
And of course, we'll let you know on air and online as soon as the city lifts the state of emergency. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the very latest. And if you find yourself needing to be on the roads, ABC 57 News wants to pass along some safety tips. Number one, be prepared. Check the forecast and your travel route before leaving. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Keep blankets, batteries, flashlights, a shovel, and a scraper all in your vehicle. Charge your cell phone, and once you get behind the wheel, slow down, keep your distance, and of course, use extra caution. So what happens if you fail, and that does happen? Don't leave your vehicle. It's best to protect yourself. As Kim had mentioned, you also tie a brightly colored cloth to your antenna. Partially roll down your window to get some fresh air inside of your vehicle. Make sure that the exhaust pipe doesn't get blocked. That is awfully important to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. But most importantly, don't panic. And this is one of the worst storms that Michiana has seen in decades, with heavy fall snowing all day Sunday, coupled with some of the coldest temperatures many of us have seen in our lifetime. Let's get back to my co-anchor, Kim Chappell, with more. Kim.
Yeah, Brian, it seems like everybody's talking about that blizzard of 1978. Must have left quite the impact here in Michiana. So how does this blizzard compare to that one? Well, our meteorologist, Tom Coombs, is breaking down the numbers.
Whenever we have a big snowstorm that makes a lot of headlines, everyone thinks blizzard in 3, 2, 1. Whenever 3, 2, 1. Whenever we have a major snowstorm, everybody thinks blizzard of 78. How does it compare? Well, it's not even close when you look at snow totals. I've done some digging and we can compare those for you. The blizzard of 78 saw snow totals over a 2 to 3 day span of 35 inches of snow. That was system snow with lake effect after that. Most of the area here, nothing officially in yet, but right around the 12-inch range. Some areas a little bit higher, but again, even if we top out around 15, that's still less than half of what we saw during the blizzard of 78, which still reigns supreme. Temperatures, though, a little different story. The 3 days after the storm, when we expect the coldest temperatures, the lows were 10, 0, and 3 in 1978. For this storm, this Arctic blast, a low, forecast lows of -16, -20, and -2. So this storm system much colder than the blizzard of 78, and that's what may be the big record setter with this system. Not the snow, but the cold that follows. We'll see what the actual results are over the next couple of days. Reporting for the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Team, I'm meteorologist Tom Coombs.
Thank you, Tom. And of course, stay with ABC 57 News as our special extended weather coverage continues. Just ahead, for those of you who rely on the South Shore train, we'll have a live interview with the general manager for Northern Indiana's commuter trains and the latest on which schools are closed again tomorrow. Plus, not just here, but all around the U.S., where a polar vortex is gripping the country in this deep freeze.
And we are deep into that freeze right now. In fact, we still have the warnings in effect across all of Michiana. Here we've got wind chill warnings in effect till 8 p.m. tomorrow. We'll talk more about the warnings, what you can expect in your neighborhood, coming up.